Good morning, everybody. I'm in my kitchen, still in my pajamas, just finished my coffee. It's a little after 9:30, and I am going to show you how to make garlicky naan. Naan is Indian flatbread, and it's going to be luscious. And I have a little prep work to do before we start filming the rest of the video, but I wanted to show you and talk to you about what I'm going to do with the garlic. So watch this. I have peeled, it looks like 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, and some of them, there's like 2 big ones and some little ones, and about this much, and this is going to be totally up to you. What I'm going to do is coarsely chop the garlic, not mince it quite yet. I'm going to coarsely chop it, and I'm going to saute it in a little bit of olive oil and butter combination and let it cool. And then I'm going to mix it in to the butter that I'm going to use in the recipe, which is about 58 grams or 56 grams, something like that. So again, I'm going to chop this coarsely, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Saute it just a little bit. Raw garlic can inhibit the rise. Sautéed or cooked garlic will not. So I'm going to, again, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I'm going to coarsely chop it. I'm going to saute it. I'm going to put it through the garlic press, and then I'm going to mix it into some softened butter, and I'll show you what that looks like. I've put some butter and oil together in a little baby skillet, where you would just make a couple of eggs. And here is the coarsely chopped garlic. And I have to put the camera down because I'm only one person here, but I'm going to just very lightly saute this garlic. And I'm going to soften the butter enough to mix this in. This is how I make garlic. Well, this isn't how I make garlic bread. I use the garlic press and put in raw garlic into the butter. But anyway, I'm going to mix it into the butter after I put it through the garlic press, because I feel like this is the best way to get the garlic completely infused into our wonderful naan. So just in case you don't know what a garlic press is, I'm sure you do, but you never know. I don't like to assume. So it's this thing. So you put the garlic in there and you just squish, and it comes out of there in little worms, so to speak. And that means it'll just be small, and it'll permeate the butter and therefore the bread more. And I already have to just turn the heat off, because once it starts getting brown, that's all I want to do. I need to get this off the fire. All right. I'll be back with you to make the dough. Just a quick view of the garlic butter. I didn't mean to melt the butter. I have a new microwave, and I guess it's probably more powerful than I realized. I put the 56 grams of butter in for only like 10 seconds, but it melted it. But that's okay. I'm just going to stick it back in the fridge, and it'll re-solidify until I'm ready to make the dough. So there it is. You can see the yummy bits of garlic. Back with you. This is the solidified garlic butter that we made earlier, or that I made earlier with you, I guess I should say. And now it's time to start the dough. I'm going to put in water, and I have plain Greek yogurt. You don't need the amounts right now because it'll be in 2 places. It'll be below in the description of the video, and it will be on my website. And the website, I'll have a link to my website just below this video in the description. But it is ellensbreadmachinerecipes.com. ellensbreadmachinerecipes.com. Okay, so those are the wet ingredients: water and yogurt. I'm going to put in my flour, and I'm actually using all-purpose flour for a change, because this recipe really doesn't need to rise. So it doesn't need all of that gluten. It does take yeast though. I have sugar, and I always put the sugar on my right in the bread pan. And I always put my salt on the left. They shouldn't be touching each other. They shouldn't be touching anything else but the flour. And finally, not finally, but in the middle over here will go the yeast. But first, I'm going to get the butter. And usually it's a stick of butter, so it's a little bit easier, but I kind of have to just kind of scrape in. It's semi-gooky. There's a word for you, gooky. Sounds like a child's word. Ah! Don't want to get it on the bread pan or where the yeast goes. All right. So all of that lovely garlic. Yes. So good. All right. I'll do what my mom would have done and used her fingers. Let me just grab a paper towel. And the only thing that's left is the yeast. And this is, as I told you before, the garlic naan. Naan is an Indian flatbread, Indian as from India, not Native American if you're not familiar with it. And they're not a crepe and they're not a pancake, but they're a round, flat, maybe about that thick, and they get all brown and bubbly, and oh, they are delicious. Now here's the funny thing. I don't know how authentic my naan is. Doesn't have to be, but that's a disclaimer. So if you are watching this and you are Indian, please don't be mad at me because I just formulated this recipe after doing a little research of other recipes, and I'm not claiming that it's completely authentic, but it's delicious. So I'm going to get this going in the bread maker, and then we're going to make a little dip to go with it. We're back. I've started the bread machine. It should be starting to mix in 1 minute and 37 seconds. It's always right at the 5-minute mark, 5 minutes before my timer goes off. And I'm making this little dip, totally new to me. I've never made it. I've never tasted it. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It is spelled R-A-I-T-A. My gut feeling tells me that it's raita. Again, I don't want to offend anybody. Please, if you are commenting on my YouTube about this, please feel free to let me know how to pronounce it. I have no idea. I'm doing my best here. So it calls for plain yogurt. And I'll, of course, give you the measurements in the recipe. This is plain Greek yogurt. Finely chopped cucumber. That would be my favorite part. Cucumber is my favorite vegetable. Sounds weird probably, but it is. I don't like a lot of strong flavors. Okay, and a clove of garlic, chopped up. And 1/4 teaspoon of cumin that I weighed, and it was like not even barely half a gram. And then the recipe says to have chopped cilantro. See, there it is. The bread machine just started. I'll be checking the dough in 5 minutes. It says the cilantro is for a garnish, but my husband and I both agree that I'm going to put some of it inside. Just sounds like it would be good. So, and that's it. That is the dip that I wanted to make to go with the garlic naan, and I wanted to make a dip because this isn't a loaf of bread where you would normally use it to make a sandwich or toast. It's something a little different. I just thought it would be fun to make something to accompany it. In 4 more minutes, I will show you how the dough is, and we'll check it to make sure it's not too wet or too dry, and hopefully it's Goldilocks just right. So since I am not a yogurt person, I asked my videographer to taste this and see if maybe it needed something else. And he said it tastes good, but he also said it is kind of bland, but considering that we're making garlicky naan, something a little more mellow is the word I use. Not quite, bland isn't the right word, but something not so spiced should be just the ticket, kind of like when you eat gyros and you eat the tzatziki sauce, which is very kind of mellows things out. So this is your dip. I mean, you can season it up. You can add salt and pepper. You can add anything you want. I'm just following the recipe, although I cheated and added some of the cilantro inside. But do it your way. Don't do it at all. Follow the recipe, add, subtract, do whatever you like. And guess what? It is time to check the dough to see if it's too wet, too dry, or just right. Wow, that is almost there. It is a little too wet, and you can see this is the telltale thing right there. If you see that layer of dough under the paddle like that, that is the telltale sign. It's not terrible. It'll need very, very little flour. I'm going to go get some flour, put it in, maybe just 10 grams, maybe about a tablespoonful or a little bit less. I'll let it start kneading again, and then I will show you what that looks like. Well, this dough is a little challenging because of the yogurt makes it a wetter dough, but I think I have made it as good as it's going to get. It may not form as smooth a dough ball. It didn't last time when I made it either. Oh yeah, it's fine now. But you can see that it's very soft dough. All right, we are good to go. The dough came out of the bread maker just a few minutes ago, and I have roughly divided it into 10 blobs. They're not balls, they're blobs. 10 segments or pieces. You could do it the perfect person way and weigh the glob of dough and divide by 10 and then weigh each piece. And you know, I do that for some things, but sometimes I'm just a little lazy. So I'm going to take each blob of dough, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to form little balls, and I'm going to cover them with one of my dish towels, and you can smell the garlic, but it is not overwhelming, just by the way, and garlic can totally be to your taste. So anyway, there's a piece of garlic. After I form all of these into little balls, we'll cover them for 10 minutes to rest, and that will allow the gluten to relax and allow me to roll these out. So I have 2 little skillets going, just little, ones that you would maybe scramble some eggs in. And I have a little teeny pat of butter and a little splash of olive oil. I'm not going to turn them on yet. They heat up pretty fast. I'm going to start rolling out the dough and see if it needs to rest or if it rolls out easily since it's already been resting. So here is the, and we're not letting them rise, but they don't need to rise. I'm just letting them rest so that the gluten relaxes. And last time we made them, we needed to leave them a little bit longer, so I'm going to see if leaving them rest in the beginning worked. Oops. Guess what I forgot to do? It's a sticky dough because of that yogurt. Okay, really? Do I need to get out a piece of parchment or wax paper? Maybe. Oh, actually, now it's rolling out really nice. Okay. So, actually, my wonderful videographer husband was the one who rolled them out before. Oops. All right. So, got a little holes. See it shrinking up? Look at that. All I did was flip it over, and it went shrinky. I'm not talented at rolling circles, but I think that's good enough. So what I'm going to do is come over here and quickly just turn my burners on to start getting these going. And I'm kind of going a little past where it says medium to start getting these nice and hot. And then I'm going to Throw that over there. Roll out another one. Sometimes it's easier just to flour the dough. Cooperate. I want to cook 1 or 2 in front of you, but I'm not going to make you watch the whole 10 pieces because that would be a little tedious. Yeah. Look, I did so much prettier a job on this one. All right. And those burners, I know that people love their gas cooktops, but I am so used to electric. And my glass top electric heats up really fast. All right, I'm gonna take this over here and I'm gonna start this one. Just gonna swirl the oil and butter and put that in there. And I'm gonna throw this one in the other one. Got my tongs ready. Actually, I should have put that on the smaller. There we go. I used my big burner, which is fine, but I have 2, the outer and the inner. So we're just going to, what was that hand? Whose hand was that? So I just want to cook a couple of these for you, and then we'll turn off the camera and finish, because I don't like to do that to you. Maybe I should turn up a bit. So that's where we are so far. Not brown and bubbly yet. It's always the first one that takes forever, and then after that, you know. So I'm going to run over here and roll out another ball. Make good use of my time. Remember how on report cards the teacher would say, well, at least on my report card, Ellen doesn't make good use of her time. That was always on the report cards. Ellen talks too much. Oh, that's a surprise. Ellen daydreams. Okay, do you see the bubbles? It's bubbling up. All right, let me just see what's going on under here. All right, we're starting to get brown. We're not there yet, but I got some nice bubbles. That's a good sign. Okay, we're, I would say, about halfway. So I'm going to roll out another piece of naan. I got lucky the last time I was doing it because a certain husband rolled while I fried. It's all on me now because somebody needs to hold the camera. You see him fixing things. I guess that's a piece of garlic. I hope it is. All right, back over here. Ooh, look at that. See all those nice bubbles? It is almost ready to turn. Oh, you can't believe how good these smell. Oh, this one is ready to turn. All right. Oh, look at that yumminess. Look at that yum, yum, yumminess. Oh. All right, let's check this one. Yep. And I did find when I made them the first time, look at that, look. That's so fun, that big bubble. Ain't science grand? You can see that even with all that oil and butter, it doesn't look greasy. They soak up a lot, so every time I fry one, I add a little more butter and a little more oil. We're not talking about a lot. And they get done really fast. All right, I think I have time to roll out another. Mr. Picky over there fixing things. This is an active energy recipe. Not difficult, obviously, but we'll call it active. Okay. Going back over here. Is this ready to come off? Yep. Okay, and one more second on that. I'm going to put a little more butter in here. Another splash of oil. And I'm going to throw another one on here. All right. And I think this one can come off. Don't want it to burn. And I'm just putting them on a cooling rack. So it gets a little busy. I think we're going to turn the camera off because you've already seen what you need to do. But I will show them to you when they're all done. When I roll these naan dough pieces out, I'm rolling them to about, I think, 1/8 of an inch. I didn't really get a ruler to measure, but that's what it seems to be, and you saw me do that. So, all right, cooking some more. Just going to show you how thin, although I think the minute we stop rolling, they start puffing up, but they are pretty thin. There you go. That's what's left. Match set to put it on, thanks to my friend Sherry. She gave me this years ago. I'll have to make sure she watches the video. And I haven't tasted any yet, so here goes. I'm gonna tear off a little piece. And it's still hot. I'm gonna taste just a plain piece first. Oh my God. Now, I will say it's not strongly garlicky, but you can taste the garlic. Up to you whether you want to put a little more in, or less, or none. You can make it without the garlic. So even though I do not like yogurt, because I don't like sour things, and my husband's shaking his head, I am going to just try a little teeny. That's not much, but that's me. I'm not a good taster, but I will try it because I love cucumber and I love cumin and I love cilantro. So hopefully I don't taste the yogurt. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, it's really good. All right. I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. This garlic naan is delicious, but if you're not a garlic person or if garlic bothers your stomach or whatever, don't use the garlic. It's absolutely delicious with or without the garlic, but I wanted to do the garlic. You could also leave out the garlic in the dough and make a garlic butter and spread it on the piece of naan also. So I hope you enjoyed this video of naan, which is Indian flatbread, N-A-A-N. The recipe will be below, but there will also be a link to my website that I will get this up on the website tonight or tomorrow. But if you want to make this right away, the recipe will be below, and you just watched me do it, so you just need the amounts anyway. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, my website is Ellen's, no apostrophe because I can't use an apostrophe in a URL, ellensbreadmachinerecipes.com. Please like this video by giving it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.